Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video in SQL Server. Today we are going to learn about what all are the null values and how we can handle this null values in SQL Server and how the null values can affect your performance of the query in your tables. So what are the null values? The null values represents the absence of a value in the database column. They are not an empty string or they are not an zero value. They are significantly unknown or a missing information. If you are a developer, you have a web page which you use to collect the information from the user through your website, or you can also take an example for Microsoft Forms or Google Forms, where there are some optional values field which the users may not fill, and in such cases those optional values without filling any value may be inserted as a null value. So inserting a null value in your tables, how can affect your performance of the query and how you can rectify the problems by handling those null values. We can see some live examples in SQL Server about these null values. So now I have connected to my SQL Server. Let's expand our database. So we have a sales table already in our database. Let's just use this table. I am going to edit the top rows to specify some null values in the table. So here I going to specify some null values. Can provide null for a clothing and for headphones, and you can specify null for this jeans and an electronic item. So I have specified some null values in the product column of my sales table. So let's close this. Now let's select and view this table. Let's drag and drop the table name. Let's execute this. Now you can see that there are some products which are displaying as null, which we have edited in the graphic view. So here are some null values in my table. So there are only 14 rows in my table now, so I can easily find what are the null values in this table. How can I find if my data set is a big one and I have millions and millions of records? So there where we can specify the var class to filter that we have null values in the products. So we can specify the column name and we can put is null function, which will filter what all are the products that are displaying as null. So you can find you can see 4 products are displaying as a null value. You can also provide is not null. This will give you what all are the products, rest of the products which are displaying the values for the product. So we have 10 products which have specified the product name, and there are 4 products which are displaying as null. So I have just used this for explanation. In the real case scenarios, you can take like creating a table for user management. Let's give us user table and can give ID. Mostly the ID will be auto generated, so let's give identity I am giving the seed value and the increment value as 1, and I going to specify the name that can, and the age integer, email as varchar, and the gender. So varchar can specify 50. Okay, so I can specify the not null constraint in the table values which are does not allow null values. That is, these columns are required values where you must need to provide any values inside this table. So you can specify the optional fields with a null value, which will allows you to insert null values inside this specific column which you have provided as null. So in this table I have provided gender to be an optional column, so people may insert their gender, may not insert their gender, so I have specified as null. So this gender column will accept null values, rest of all the columns will not allow any null values to be inserted in this table. In the previous table we have seen 4 null values are present in the table. You can filter out by using the is not null function to specify what all are the non null values in the table. So I need to see all the records. Let's take this filter out. Now you can see it is displaying us null values in the product field. I need only all the records. If it is a null, I need to display as no products available for that particular category. So we can use the COALESCE function, which we have seen earlier in our previous videos. So you need to get more familiar with this built-in functions in SQL. I have provided another video where you can understand all the built-in functions in SQL. So let's just provide this as a no products available for this. And we can provide the category name. So now you can see if in the category if there is a product, it will be displayed. If there is no products, it is displayed as no products. So you can use the COALESCE function to replace the null values in your select statements, and you can also use the case statements to avoid this. Can give case when the product is null, then I need to display this as no products. Else I need to display the products. End as products. So now let's select this. This will give the same result. If the product is available, it will display the product with the along with the category. If there is no product, it will be displayed as a no product value. So we have used a case statement, or you can use COALESCE function to avoid displaying the null values in your table. So we have seen like we can have optional columns which can allow null values. How these null values can affect our query performance? So we can see we can have multiple tables which are denormalized, and we can use joins to combine the value and select the desired result. In such cases, when your join condition column contains any null values, it will be affect your join condition, and you cannot get the desired results. So you need to be very careful. When your column has a null value, you need to specify the correct join order, that is a left, right, or inner join. So the other query performance issues regarding the null values are when you are having some indexing in your tables. So we can specify explicit indexing values for your tables to fetch the data even more faster. You can use that indexing operations to improve your performance of your query. So if there is a null value, your indexing will be affected. The performance of your indexing will be affected, because as there is a null value, the indexing performance will be very much slower. And regarding the filtering, we have specified where the product is null. So whenever you filter the value, if there is a null value, then the performance of the query will so much reduced, because that the SQL Server needs to identify and take one by one values if it is a null or not null. So using such queries in your solution will reduce your query performance. So you can handle those things in your table itself while you creating a table. If it is a optional value, let's say for example in our case there is a gender, so you can specify a default value using the default constraint which we have seen earlier. You can give default values for the genders. Let's say for example in my case I have just specified as a empty string. Empty string and null are not same, because empty string is a character value. It has a specific value. It is a string. But null is neither a character nor an integer. It is just nothing. So I hope you have understand what is the null value and how it affects our query performance, and how you can handle those null values in your table creation script, or you can replace the null values by using the case or a COALESCE or even an isNull function. So avoiding null values to be get inserted into your table will be a best choice for your data. So let me provide the GitHub link where you can find the solution for today's class. Please watch all the videos in the SQL Server playlist. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.